Welcome, Transformer fans. My name is Composite Enerjoe, and today I'll be bringing you my review of the Transformers Studio Series Deluxe class Bumblebee. More specifically, the last night version of Bumblebee, and even more specifically, the version that came in the then and now Bumblebee double pack, alongside the 1967 Volkswagen Bumblebee from his standalone movie. So yeah, here he is in his alt mode that was seen in the last night, and it's a very nice recreation of that alt mode, which was a 2017 concept Camaro, at the time a concept Camaro. And as far as I'm aware, I don't think this model ever got into production. Maybe I'm wrong, I'm not really a big car guy, but who knows. From my understanding, it never got past the concept stage. Yeah, and then you get the nice small little Chevy logo. And overall, it's a very nice looking design. Preference-wise, I think design-wise of the cars, I've always been a bigger fan of like the first movie's 2009 concept Camaro. That's always been my favorite. But this one is a nice little sort of next step. You know, several next steps. But yeah, overall, pretty decent car mode. And you probably already noticed that there's like gaps here. And that is gonna be that, and that I'm gonna explain now that is my biggest major complaint with this figure. I don't know if it's a problem with my figure specifically, but when I try to transform him back into his car mode, this is like the best that I could do, where like all of this is closed up. However, when I get to the hood, this gap is always here. Same thing with this. Same thing with sort of this back piece. For some reason, I can't line it up. If I try to force it and push it down, some other bits like pop off. So this is like the absolute best that I could do. So just be aware of that. That could be an issue with this mold, but hopefully it's just a problem with my specific figure, because this is the best I can get it without it hindering anything, without anything really popping out. These gaps are just here, and he rolls quite nicely. Bit of a weird segue, but yeah, he does roll quite nicely when you have everything all, you know, connected together. And with all of that, done, let's get on to the transformation. And the transformation is pretty interesting. It's not that complicated. And yeah, just not that complicated. It's just that getting him to his car mode is a bit finicky. And he, like I said, there's that issue where I try to connect down the hood to the rest of the car and it just won't. Or it like forces other things to pop out. So for transformations, you get the car doors open, like so. And then, what was next? You have to like pop up the arms. So get your fingers in there and pop up his robot arms. Like so. Take this little piece and fold it up. And then just disconnect this. So you basically have, make sure you don't pull off the door. So reconnect this really quick. There we go. So you have it like this. And let's get the legs done out of the way. So then you just separate this. Fold this out like so. Take this piece. You have to disconnect it. So push out and then up. Fold this piece up to his thigh. Then for this part, the next step, fold this down, fold this forward, and then you start folding the stuff out. So then fold this, and then this part, come on. Oh, there we go. Okay. You have to push this in, you have to push like this part of the foot first and then start folding out. And then you rotate, and then there should be a peg here for you to connect to, like so. And there we have his left leg. And second side is the same thing. Pop out, forward, fold up, push this forward, fold, push in, pop out, fold, and rotate and fold. So here we have the lower half of Bumblebee. and make sure everything is sort of pushed in. There we go. There we go. So you have his legs ready to go. Next up, we get to the torso. Let me just lift this up a bit. He's getting a little taller. And for this part, darn it, you don't pop off the window. I have to do that. And you come over here to the side and pop out the wheels. That way you can then rotate the arms and pop them out. So rotate, pop out. Then for this, you fold this out and then you can pop this whole assembly up. So, and then you can start folding up the car. Like so. And then you have to like angle this. And then when you fold this down, the head can pop up, can pop through. Then when you bring this down far enough, it'll click into here. And then you just push it in to secure it into place. So, and fix up the arms, fold them out the hands. For the car doors, you then pop this and fold it down. Pop this, fold it down. And then for this part, it's a little bit of pressure, but you have to basically finagle this a bit. But you have to feed this into there as much as you can. I'm gonna show you like how, like the proper distance here. There. See? Yeah. So how this is folded, and I remember in the instructions they didn't really show this clearly. This is how it's supposed to be. You have to fold this in as far as you can. It has to go all the way in there to cover up this gap. So then fold out. And the finishing touch is that you fold the chest to make it a little bit more movie accurate. And here we have the Last Night Bumblebee. Well, another sort of minor issue is that his feet are kind of loose. But I feel you can work with that. Give him some poses. So yeah, here he is. And I dare say, I think this looks really nice. It's pretty cool. Obviously it's not 100% accurate to the film, but it's pretty darn close. And it's still just overall a very nice looking Bumblebee. And like, check out that head sculpt. It's probably one of the nicest looking Bumblebee heads I've seen in a while. The last time I saw one this good was in the other Studio Series one. Yeah, this is very, very nice. Nice details, nice paint work, nice Autobot symbol. Just overall, like detail-wise, it's a very nice looking figure. Yeah, the back is a little bit loud, but still, very nice figure. He does come with one accessory, which is his cannon. I forgot what this was called. I think this was like his plasma cannon, but I don't remember. For the plasma cannon, you can store it on his back down here on this peg. So you just put it in like so. And there you have Bumblebee with his cannon stowed away. And I just wanted to show that off now. Because this cannon, unfortunately, if there's a way I couldn't see it, you can't store this in his vehicle mode, which is a shame. Especially since his, I believe this mold was obviously originally part of the Last Night toy line. I remember it was extensively redecoed and recolored and like reused. Was remade into the Studio Series Deluxe Movie 1 Bumblebee and repaint Clunker Bumblebee. But yeah, in that mold, like a lot of the engineering was taken over from there to there. And in that one, I do remember that you can store his cannon in robot mode, in vehicle mode, I mean. But yeah, here it didn't happen. And it is interesting how the sort of the Last Night kind of started off, would eventually turn into the Studio Series, the Last Night figures. Because Bumblebee here, even though he's from the Last Night movie, does feel like a Studio Series figure with all of his details. And even though this one is probably a repaint, which I think I'm getting ahead of myself. I'll get into that later. So yeah, let's get on to his articulation. His head is on a ball joint. Arms are on ball joints. Door, I guess, wings have their own little hinges. Elbow can swivel. Put it back in there. Can swivel and has a bend and a little bit of wrist action. He does have a waist, which is nice. Ball joint at the leg. There's a swivel at the thigh. Nice bend at the knee. And a little bit of ankle articulation, which on mine is just a tad loose. a tad looser than I would like. But it's alright, it doesn't bother me that much. So yeah, he has quite a range of articulation, which is very nice. And to equip this thing, you then have to just, how was this? Oh yeah, you just have to pop off his arm and then slide this. Oh no, this is only for his left arm, yeah. Weirdly enough, I don't know why they designed it this way, but this figure, the cannon only works on his left arm, not his right. And you can tell this because his left arm, when you pop it out, it's easier to pop off, and it has this little peg so that you can store it here in the back. So fold up the arm, store it away. I said stow it away. There we go. You can just stow away his severed arm on his back where this was. And you just slide this in. Like that. Oh. Come on. Work with me. There we go. You slide that in, and now you have his stinger cannon. I gotta remember what this was called. I'm just gonna call it the plasma cannon, even though I'm pretty sure that's not what it's called. Fix that up, fix that up. And then we have it, which looks very, very nice. It's a nicely detailed cannon. Even has a little extra paint that's not present on his regular arm. And I do appreciate that the stowage, you can store the severed arm and the cannon as well on his lower back, which is very nice. So yeah, very cool. I like that this feature was also carried over into his remold as the movie 1 Studio Series Bumblebee. And that's what gets me to this. This figure, I believe, I never got the original one, but I believe this one is just a reissue with maybe a slight recoloring of the original deluxe class figure that was part of the Last Night movie toy line, which is fine. And as you can see, since this mold technically predates all of the other Studio Series figures, you can kind of see a lot of the ideas that they had that led into Studio Series. Since this predates that, you can kind of see it, and I just lost his arm. Well, I'll get that later. I'm not gonna look for that now. So yeah, now let's get on to a size comparison. Here he is next to Ratchet. See if I can straighten him out. Which he's a pretty average sized deluxe. Even though I think this from his time he's still a little bit bigger. So he's a pretty standard deluxe. Here we have the Legion class cliff jumper here. And there's the sizes. So yeah, overall, I think this figure's great. Like, you can see how this, like, I can tell how this is sort of leads into the Studio Series. Like, you can see a lot of the choice, a lot of the design decisions, I guess, or design tropes, if that's a thing. But yeah, overall, this is a very nice and solid Bumblebee figure. Probably one of the better ones I've encountered. Since there's so many Bumblebee figures, like, you're gonna find a bunch of both bad and good and a lot in the middle. But this one, I find, is one of the nicer ones. I personally feel that the movie 1 variant is still a little bit better. But this one is pretty solid. Fairly solid, and darn it, I wish he didn't have such weak ankles. So I'm just gonna end it now. So yeah, overall, nice figure. So this has been my review of the Studio Series, the Transformers Studio Series Deluxe class Bumblebee, the Last Night version from the Then and Now double pack. I'm not going to write all of that as a title, but this is Composite Enerjoe signing off. Peace out.